If you're a skinny guy and you've been going to the gym for months, maybe even years, lifting weights, sweating, watching fitness videos, trying different workout programs, and yet when you look in the mirror, your body still looks almost the same, I want you to hear this clearly from the very beginning. You are not broken, your genetics are not cursed, and you are not failing because you're lazy or weak. In fact, if you're skinny and you're still showing up consistently, that already tells me something important about you. You have discipline. The real problem is that most skinny guys are unknowingly following advice that was never designed for their body type, their recovery ability, or their lifestyle, especially in American gym culture where more is better is treated like a religion and suffering is mistaken for progress. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody likes to say out loud. The majority of fitness advice online is created by people who already had muscle, grew up playing sports, or respond extremely well to training. These are the guys who can lift 3 or 4 days a week, eat kind of randomly, sleep badly, and still grow. When those people give advice to naturally skinny guys, it sounds confident and motivating, but biologically it often doesn't apply. So when a skinny guy hears just train harder, add more volume, or go 6 days a week, he follows that advice with full effort, thinking that effort alone will solve the problem. And that's where everything starts going wrong, because skinny guys don't fail from lack of effort. They fail from effort pointed in the wrong direction. The first thing you have to understand is something that completely changes how you see training. Muscle is not built in the gym. The gym is where you create the signal. Muscle is built when your body recovers from that signal, when you eat, when you sleep, and when your nervous system calms down enough to allow adaptation. This matters more for skinny guys than almost anyone else, because naturally skinny bodies usually have lower recovery capacity. When you train too often, too intensely, and too frequently, you're not speeding up growth, you're blocking it. Your body stays stuck in survival mode, and a body that's trying to survive does not invest energy into building new muscle tissue. This leads directly into the first major reason skinny guys don't gain muscle even after going to the gym, training too much. A lot of skinny guys believe that more days automatically means more results. 5 days, 6 days, sometimes even training every single day. It feels disciplined. It feels serious. It feels like what real lifters do. But if you're constantly sore, constantly tired, and your strength numbers aren't increasing over time, your body isn't adapting. It's just trying to keep up. And that's the difference between exercise and training. Exercise burns energy. Training builds adaptation. Skinny guys often exercise a lot, but they don't train effectively. There's a phrase you need to burn into your brain if you're a skinny lifter. Stop training like a bodybuilder, start training like a builder. Builders care about structure, progression, and recovery. Bodybuilders, especially social media bodybuilders, chase exhaustion, pumps, variety, and novelty. Skinny guys don't need more exercises. They don't need more intensity. They need fewer training days, higher quality sets, and enough recovery for their body to actually respond. 3 or 4 focused, well-planned training days will almost always outperform 6 random high-volume sessions for muscle growth. Another massive issue is what I call junk volume. This is everywhere in modern gyms. Endless cable flies, concentration curls, lateral raise variations, drop sets, burnout sets, supersets, and pump-focused workouts that feel intense and look impressive but don't actually force the body to change. These exercises aren't useless, but when they become the foundation of your program instead of accessories, progress stalls. Muscle is built by movements that allow progressive overload, exercises you can repeat, track, and slowly improve over time. Squats, hinges, presses, rows, pull-ups. These lifts recruit more muscle, allow heavier loading, and send a stronger growth signal to the body. This brings us to one of the most important truths in fitness, especially for skinny guys. If your lifts aren't going up, your muscles won't either. A lot of skinny guys train with effort but without intention. They lift weights that feel heavy, they sweat, they struggle, but they don't track reps, they don't track load, and they don't have a plan to improve. 3 months go by, then 6 months, and nothing changes. Muscle growth is not driven by how hard a workout feels. It's driven by adaptation. Your body only grows when it's forced to handle a slightly higher demand than before. And if the demand stays the same, so does your body. Now let's talk about food, because this is where denial often shows up. Especially in the US, people love to say, "I eat a lot." But eating a lot and eating enough are not the same thing. The scale doesn't lie. If your body weight is not slowly trending upward over weeks and months, you are not in a calorie surplus. And without a surplus, muscle growth simply does not happen. It doesn't matter how clean your diet is. It doesn't matter how hard you train. Muscle is expensive tissue, and your body will not build it without extra energy available. This doesn't mean you need to eat junk food all day. It means you need consistent intake. Skinny guys often eat big one day and barely anything the next. The body doesn't respond to random good days. It responds to patterns. Consistency matters more than perfection. Protein is another major factor that's often misunderstood. Muscle is literally built from amino acids, not motivation, not supplements, not pre-workout hype. Many skinny guys undereat protein without realizing it, especially when meals are skipped or intake changes day to day. You don't need obsession. You need reliability. Another overlooked problem is appetite regulation. Skinny guys often burn more calories than they realize through daily movement, stress, and activity. So what feels like enough food often is. That's why tracking intake, even temporarily, can be incredibly useful. Not to obsess, but to understand reality. You can't fix what you don't measure. Once you see the numbers, things start to make sense. Now let's talk about lifestyle, because this is where modern American life quietly destroys gains. Sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night, scrolling on your phone until midnight, living on caffeine, constant stress from school, work, money, or expectations. Then wondering why recovery feels terrible, appetite is inconsistent, and strength isn't increasing. Muscle growth is a luxury process. Your body will not invest in it if it thinks you're under constant threat. Stress hormones interfere with sleep quality, appetite, recovery, and hormone balance. You can train perfectly and eat well, but if sleep and stress are ignored, progress slows to a crawl. Another common mistake skinny guys make is copying advanced programs. Programs built for experienced lifters assume you already have muscle mass, work capacity, and recovery ability. Skinny beginners don't. That's why simple programs often work better. Full body routines, upper-lower splits, fewer exercises done consistently. Progress comes from doing the basics well for a long time, not from constantly chasing new routines or new trends. Now let's talk about genetics, because this is the most abused excuse in fitness. Yes, genetics influence how fast you grow and where you store muscle, but genetics do not prevent muscle growth entirely. If genetics were the main issue, beginners wouldn't gain muscle at all. Most people blaming genetics are actually dealing with inconsistent training, inconsistent eating, inconsistent sleep, and zero long-term tracking. That's not genetics. That's a system problem, and systems can be fixed. So what actually works for skinny guys? The answer isn't exciting, but it's effective. Train fewer days with higher intent. Focus on compound movements. Track your lifts and improve them slowly. Eat enough calories and protein every single day. Sleep like it matters, because it does. Reduce unnecessary stress, and give your body time. Muscle growth is slow, especially at first, but it compounds when done correctly. Here's another truth people don't like to hear. Pump workouts feel good but build very little long-term muscle if they're not supported by progression and recovery. Feeling destroyed after a workout is not proof it worked. Adaptation is. The goal is not to leave the gym exhausted. The goal is to leave the gym having sent a clear, recoverable signal that your body can adapt to. Skinny guys don't need more intensity. They need more patience. They don't need more exercises. They need better execution. And they don't need motivation. They need structure. Because effort without direction leads to frustration, while effort with the right system leads to growth. The reason most skinny guys stay skinny isn't because they're weak. It's because they're trying to win a long-term biological process with short-term thinking. Once you stop copying influencers, stop overtraining, stop undereating, and stop fighting your own recovery, muscle finally starts to show up, slowly at first, then noticeably, then consistently. If you're skinny, frustrated, and still showing up anyway, that's not a weakness, that's potential. Because when effort finally meets the right strategy, growth becomes inevitable. Not fast, not flashy, but real and permanent. And if you want more no BS muscle building content made specifically for skinny guys, subscribe to Skeleton Strength, because we don't sell hype, we build bodies.